Patrick, we've done a couple videos here today. We're going to focus this one on Hughes you can use. Quinn Hughes named as a finalist for the Norris first Canuck defenseman ever to be in the running for that trophy, seriously.
Yeah.
And source of massive insecurity for Canuck fans. Eastern media don't stay up long enough to recognize how great Quinn Hughes is, but he's a finalist. I think he's going to win it. What do you think and why?
Well, I mean, the simple end would be, well, he's the leading scorer among defensemen. But I think the real story is that there's a guy who's drawn notice around the league for the way he's been a star performer every night. And generally that's with the puck on his stick. But I think people have clued in that him having the puck on his stick means the Canucks aren't up playing defense, and that's a massively important thing. It's something I think people came to realize with Roman Josi. They certainly came to realize with Cale Makar, the two other guys that have been nominated this year. I just think the way he has played, the way he's improved, the way he's actually, I think, smartly sold his story. And when he talks to us and the way he's communicated, he's been very careful and very cautious. There's stuff he has told us, I'll tell you after the season, because he's changed, he improved. He's talked to us about improving his shot, but he's changed his nutrition. And there's a few other things he's learned. I think sort of lifestyle choices he's made. And we've heard him, he's big on sleep now, like doesn't do a lot of kind of young guy stuff that I think he probably was still doing living in Yaletown or whatever. I just think there's a that part of the story has been spread far and wide. At least the dedication to the craft part has, and I think that matters. I think at the end of the day, he has sold his story well, and he's been the best defenseman in the NHL. I just don't. And I'm not just saying that because I'm from Vancouver. Like that's how remarkable his season has been. And you think about where would this Canucks team be without him in the lineup, right? Like that's where it kind of comes back to. And Makar obviously is an amazing player, but he's had it for him a quieter year. You take him out of the lineup, they still have Nathan McKinnon, right? Like they still have guys that are going to drive the bus. Josi obviously is an important player in Nashville, and they don't have a defenseman as talented as him. But they have some depth, and you just sort of look at you're like, yeah, they'd still survive. But he's a similar case. But I think in the end, Hughes out of the lineup totally dramatically changes everything about this team in terms of their offensive output. I think that's why he's going to do it. I talked to Jim. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you said you take Makar out of the lineup and they still have McKinnon. We already covered Pettersson in our other video.
Yeah,
but that's really what the Canucks aspire to be. But it's I was going to ask you where you put him in terms of the Canucks that you've been around and seen play while you've been covering the team.
Well, I mean, he's without a doubt, I think, the most consistent, the most highly skilled, the most sort of able to display his talents on a nightly basis. Obviously, Pettersson's the fifth fastest Swede to 400 points. Like, he's done all these things we forget about, and it has been a tremendous player for most of his time in Vancouver. The last 25 games, whatever it would be, have not been great. And so that, I would say at Christmas it might have been neck and neck, but right now it's Hughes. I mean, JT Miller has been a fascinating personality, and I'm looking forward. I've got a great little story on him. I'm looking forward to put together. But he's not the all around consistent guy. He has nights that things don't work, whereas Hughes, almost every night things work, and there's a reason why the Canucks are in pretty much every game, and he's a big reason because of it.
This is, I think, always a fascinating discussion. And again, in one of our other videos that we recorded recently, we talked about it. There's something about a playoff resume, right? Like when you think of great players, it's all what they do in the playoffs. Like they're true. Like we're talking top end players. Is it safe to say that Hughes has been the Canucks' best player in the playoffs? I mean, obviously you've got the Brock hat-trick game, nice stories with Seelov's, stepping in for an injured Demko. JT Miller, I think, has been pretty good. We've talked about Pettersson's struggles.
Yeah.
But it's when you talk about Hughes, it is consistency, isn't it? Like he to me, as good as he was in the regular season, he's even raised his game in the playoffs.
Even in the games where he's, had a moment or two where he struggled or he's gotten hit hard, like he's still been fantastic. I think in terms of consistent impact, he's been their most valuable player. Miller's been very, very good and very, very consistent as well. obviously Nikita Zadorov's had a couple big performances, but
yeah,
it's still not Hughes level. Yeah, I think Hughes has been their best player in the playoffs, and again, take him out of the lineup, and I don't think they're anything close to where they are right now.
Well, it would be cool to see him win the Norris and certainly see this team go a couple more rounds. Patrick, thanks for your time today. Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. Sign up for the Canuck Report. You will get all our content delivered to you, whether you're watching on our YouTube channel here or on our website, province.com, also on vancouversun.com. We appreciate it. So thanks, everyone, and we will talk to you next week when hopefully we're talking about the Canucks and the Oilers.